If your brain is halfway in summer mode, spring fever is high in the classroom, but you still have a few weeks to go and you know that your kids need structure and fun, then you are in the right place with today's episode. We are going to talk about how to make the end of the year fun for you and your students without losing your mind, because the end of the year can be really stressful in such a different way than back to school, especially when we know summer's around the corner and we're all just kind of ready to get there. Now, I want to start this episode before we dive into the ideas and the things we can do to make the end of the year fun. I want to give you some encouragement here and let you know that you could listen to this episode and decide to do all the things or none of the things, and that's fine. You don't have to do any of the things we talk about here to have a good end of the year. These are just ideas to make it fun and keep it as simple as possible. But I've said this in other episodes, maybe you haven't heard me say this before, kids are as excited as we are. You don't need a bouncy castle and chaotic carnivals to have an excited classroom of 5-year-olds, right? You can read your favorite stories. You can bring bubbles. You can do something that is so simple and easy for you and maybe costs you $1 but saves you so much insanity. And as long as you're excited, your kids will be excited too. Sometimes we build things up to think that we need this big production, and we really, really don't. So take out all the ideas here, filter them your own way, and think, does this work for me or does it not? Okay? So to get started, let's talk about something that's really common at the end of the year. And actually, lately I've noticed there's some different schools of thought on this as well. You might fall on one side or the other. An end of year countdown is pretty popular, especially in the primary grades, counting down to summer. And usually there's something special you do each day. I've seen people pop balloons. I've seen people do all kinds of things to have a countdown to the end of the year. Now, some people don't do that, and they say it can be more stressful for students and teachers to add that countdown element. Maybe kids check out earlier. Some kids might not be excited for summer for various reasons. Maybe they're not in the best environment for summer. Maybe school is their more structured, safe place. So I can fully see both sides of this argument of celebrating the countdown and not. You can think about which fits you and your students the best, and it might change from year to year. My favorite type of countdown, instead of one that's just like all about like, oh, it's the end of the year, summer, it's going to be summer, and popping balloons, and I'm not doing that. Me personally, I'm just not going to do that. You might love that. For me, I always love an alphabet countdown because in TK, kindergarten, pre-K, the alphabet is such a huge part of our year. We spend so much time on the alphabet. It deserves its time in the sun. Whether that's you're saying you're counting down to summer or not, going through as a fun wrap-up celebration with the alphabet is something I really love doing. It's simple. You don't need to bring a full on, you don't need to go to the zoo for Z Day. You don't have to do anything too chaotic. It adds some structure and excitement to their day when they know, ooh, tomorrow is B. What's it going to be for tomorrow? We're going to, have a bear stuffed in. You can bring your bear to school. We have a bear. I'm just making this up. There's bubbles. You can see how the possibilities are kind of endless, and you can keep it as simple as possible. A for art, B for bubble. Bring chalk for C. We're going to go outside and do chalk for 5 minutes. Remember, they're as excited as you are for things. Now, if you want help planning an alphabet countdown, we do have the full entire plan for you, a full pack of activity ideas and more inside the Print and Play Club. So if you're a club member, or if you're not, you can hop in and join us and grab that. We'll make sure that it's in the show notes for you. Okay, next up, ABC Countdown. That's something I highly recommend. Think about if it works for you. Next up is something really common in kindergarten, and to be honest, not one of my favorite things because it does require certain levels of organization. So I'm going to give you some tips to make it simple. Memory books and keepsakes. Now, if you're listening to this and you have a couple weeks left in the school year and you're thinking, I don't have a memory book, don't start making one from scratch right now. You will just stress yourself out. Kids do love flipping through them. Memory books are a great way to reflect on the year, but if you haven't started one yet, I don't think I would start one with only a couple weeks left to go. If you do want a full memory book, of course, we have those in the club for you with some end of year ideas, but truly, if you're listening to this, you want something easy and simple, I would keep it ultra simple. See if you can do a class photo that you can print out. Just a class photo of everyone, not like a professional one, like everyone just get at circle time, take a picture, and then do a fun autograph page, like my friends in kindergarten, my friends in pre-K, whatever grade, whatever school, have them sign their friends' pages, because that's a fun event, practicing writing their name even more. You could stick it in a sheet protector, you could laminate it with the photo, and they can take that home as a special keepsake. You could do this even if you already did have a memory book. Now, as I'm talking about this, I'm like, ooh, I want to share so much more about the easiest way to do memory books, but I think that might be a back to school episode, because for me, the easiest way is to chip away at them throughout the year so that they're never stressing you out. So we'll take note for a future episode more on memory books and keepsakes. But for the end of the year, consider adding an autograph page with their picture. Super simple, a great keepsake for students. Next up, now this is another hot topic of debate. You might be on one side or the other. Graduations and ceremonies and celebrations. Some preschools or pre-K or kindergarten, some of them have full-on graduations. I'm talking like a cap and a gown. We never did. I personally would not want to, but you might love that celebration. You might think that is a really important part, and it may be an important part of your school, and that is amazing. We never really did that. We weren't set up that way, and that's okay. We just celebrated differently. So when you're thinking about end of year celebrations, what sounds right to you? Do you want a big to-do? Do you want to keep it simple? What does your school normally do? And what can you handle? Right? What is the budget? Does your school helping you at all with any sort of, party favors, or even like buying the bubbles for certain things that you're going to do? Or if not, how can we keep it ultra simple? Kids don't need a ton of things. In fact, if I'm doing an alphabet countdown, typically we celebrate the whole alphabet together at the end, like as a whole, and that's our celebration. I'm not doing a whole separate. We might do a last day party, like have a snack and watch some special songs, because it's usually a half day, and then that's it. But if we're doing a whole countdown and everything, we're usually not having a whole separate ceremony. So think through, it could be so simple. You could have a dance party with juice boxes. You could give them a certificate, like I finished kindergarten. You could take their picture in a fun photo booth that you make yourself with a little frame, or they hold up a sign, I finished kindergarten. You could print one and take their picture and call it good. Celebrating, kids love when I would turn up our favorite YouTube songs or music and just dance. So think about what kind of end of year celebration you would like. You might want to do a gift tag, or send them home with something special. Maybe some summer activities, things like that. We of course have gift tags, summer activities, everything in the Print and Play Club for you. We also have some graduation celebration songs. So if you are putting on a performance for any parents or relatives or friends in the classroom, you could sing some of those songs. They're ready to go for you, or maybe you're just singing them together as a class. We'll make sure all of those things are in the show notes for you. Lastly, this one is probably the best tip as far as keeping things simple. Remember, we're taking in what you feel like you can handle and letting the rest go. Think of ways that you can make the end of the year fun without adding in work, because the things that we just talked about, they're fun and they can be easy, but they are a little bit of extra planning and a little bit of extra work. My favorite thing that does not feel like work is just adding in review activities or centers or things that were their favorites, bringing them back. So if you had a math center they loved, bring it back. Just pull it out of your cupboard and bring it back. Books and read alouds, things that you've already done that you can review with them that they were excited about. Hey, we're going to do this again. It was so fun. We're going to celebrate and review in this way. Bring back things like that. Sneak in that learning through different types of centers. You could bring out summer themed centers. You could bring out one of our favorite activities is follow along fun, which is like listening to directions, right? So I might say, color the sun red, or color the beach ball, or color the sun yellow, or whatever color. Maybe it's a fantasy one. Color the beach ball red. Things like that, where they have to listen and follow along to the directions. We do have a whole pack of those. This is also a great time to bring out things like summer bingo and other class games that are still meant for learning together, but they're fun, they're different, and they keep attention during those high spring fever times of year. If you're in the club, or even if you're not, check out those show notes so you can see some activities and resources we have for you. All right, to bring this to a close, please remember that the end of the year does not need to be perfect to be memorable. It does not matter what the teacher on Instagram or the teacher next door or the teacher down the hall, what they are doing. You and your students have your own unique classroom setup, your own unique relationship, and the end of the year is going to be so great no matter how you decide to celebrate. I wish you the best. Summer is almost here. Send me a message, check out the show notes. I can't wait to hear how it goes. Happy teaching.